In the warm little town of Rosewood lived a young woman named Sophie Miller who worked long, tiring hours in a cozy coffee shop called Morning Brew. She spent her days serving lattes, wiping tables and managing the rush of customers, while secretly carrying the weight of her own struggles on her heart. She supported her younger brother Jake after their parents passed away, and even though life often felt heavy, Sophie always kept a gentle smile, hoping that tomorrow might be kinder even if today wasn't. One rainy evening when the coffee shop was nearly empty, an old man stepped inside, drenched from the storm, yet his eyes held a calm, steady kindness. He walked up to Sophie and said with a soft voice, "You look like someone who is trying very hard to hold everything together." Sophie nodded quietly, and the old man said, "Sometimes doing your best is more than enough." Then he added, "Storms don't come to break you, they come to clear your path." These words touched Sophie deeply. Before she could speak, the man purchased a simple black book, smiled, and left, leaving his words echoing in her heart. The next week, a well-known writer named Daniel Brooks visited the shop, searching for inspiration and a quiet place to think. Sophie served him coffee, and as they talked, Daniel realized how passionate she was about stories, books, and the tiny, beautiful moments in life. He asked her if she ever wrote anything, and Sophie shyly said she never had time for dreams. Daniel replied, "Dreams don't wait for the perfect time, they wait for courage." That night, Sophie sat alone in her small room, staring at an empty notebook, remembering the old man's words, and suddenly she began writing, pouring her feelings, her struggles, her hope, and the warmth she always shared with others into the pages. Weeks passed, and her notebook filled slowly with chapters shaped from her heart. Finally, she gathered courage and showed her writing to Daniel. A month later, Sophie received a call that changed everything. Daniel told her that a publisher loved her book and wanted to publish it. Sophie felt her breath catch as tears filled her eyes. The girl who once felt overwhelmed in a small coffee shop was now the writer whose words would give hope to thousands. Her book became a symbol of courage, showing that even in the hardest times, the smallest spark of hope can light the way. On the night of her book launch, Sophie stood in front of readers and said, "There were days when I felt lost and tired, but if you keep moving even one small step at a time, you will discover that your story is not finished. Hope is real, and sometimes the storm you are facing is clearing a path you cannot see." At the room filled with applause, and Sophie finally understood the strength she always carried within herself. Later that night, standing by her window, she whispered, "Thank you for the storm, because without it she would have never found her light."